opportunity call this month. So this is actually our third month of having this call in a row, and it is such a pleasure to host today. We have an amazing lineup. This is a call, if you guys don't know, or if it's your first time hopping on, this is a call that we help you prepare and get ready and get you the most updated training into our newest marketing opening in India. Guys, we are less than 3 months away to our pre-launch in India in November, and we're so excited on here. So today, this call is being recorded and streamed on Facebook as well. So if you missed a call or you want to go back and listen to more details on it, go back on Facebook and you can watch and listen to it again, or if you have people that cannot make the call today. So today we have an amazing lineup. So first we have John Iamranond from Thailand. I'm so excited to get to know John a little bit more. He is a 29-year team elite. He's been doing Nu Skin for 29 years, a team elite for 24 years, and a COE 4 on here. He's participated in over 6 different market openings. India will be his 7th, and he has just been rocking and killing it in Thailand with India eligible brand affiliates, signing up India eligible brand affiliates, getting them to brand reps in prepare for the opportunity launch, qualified launch on November 1st. So without further ado, guys, we're gonna go right into John. After John, we're gonna have Andrew go over some Q&As. We've been doing these calls for 2 to 3 months now, and Andrew has been getting lots of questions. So he's gonna go over the top 3 to 5 questions, because if he's getting a lot of them, I'm sure you guys are too. So, and during that time, if you want to put in some questions in the chat, Andrew may or may not get to them, but we'll get to them as much as well as possible. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the time over to John. And John, are you there? Excited to get to know you.
Yes, I'm here, and I want to say good morning to everyone, and good morning to all the millionaires around the world. First off, I want to say thank you for having me here, and I just want to take a few minutes. I've been with Nu Skin 29 years, and I really want to say one thing, that all of us right here, we are at the best point in time, to be able to build a global business without, in like the old days where we had to travel, get on a plane. So this is one of that moment where wherever you are, whether you're in the US, you're in Europe, you're in Southeast Asia, wherever, it doesn't matter. As long as you got a Wi-Fi, okay, you got a smartphone, you got an iPad, you're able to connect to the entire India. When Nu Skin announced India was opening, and I've been to India once, and it's definitely, it's 1.4 billion people. That's a lot of people, right? So some of you may have never experienced that kind of a country where there's so much people. Literally, like you're looking left, right, there's people everywhere. Well, that means opportunity, right? And so, I believe many of you that join this business, you're not only in it to just build your local market, but the opportunity to build this into a global, seamless opportunity. So they asked me to share, and I think the best thing is, it doesn't matter if you're new or you've been in the business for a long time. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter if you're smart, if you're not smart. It doesn't matter how much skill you have. If you ask me, the number one thing that's going to make you successful in India, it's not about the how. It's about opening your mouth and talking to people. Okay, you can have all the skills in the world, but you have nobody to teach. Okay, you can have the online access, but you have nobody to Zoom. Okay, so the one thing that I believe is most important in our business is about mastering the invitation, right? All you're gonna do is open your mouth and invite everybody. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about India. There's a lot of challenges that are gonna be ahead. It's just like every market that I've been involved with, and it's understanding all these challenges. They're gonna get solved, so don't worry about it. Okay, what I want you to think about is how many Indians have you talked to? How many people have said, yeah, I want to do this? How many people have you got committed to wanting to do this? Right? It doesn't matter how excited you are. You can be excited jumping all around, but you're not talking to anybody. Right? And so you have the technology in your hand where you can just zoom in and talk to somebody in Mumbai, in Delhi, in wherever city. There's 1.4 billion. You will not run out of people. Okay, most likely maybe you'll run out of energy, right? But you're not going to run out of energy if you are super excited about the opportunity. And, I'll tell you, many of you probably heard of a company called Herbalife, right? Well, Herbalife last year did $880 million in India. Now imagine we are zero. That means we have not opened. So whether you're new, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. We have the same equal opportunity, right? But it's who takes action. And, it's about when you're doing this kind of market, or if you're doing this anywhere in the world, this is a long-term, a lifetime business. Well, for me, this is a lifetime business. This is not about doing India for 1-2 years and I'm gone. No, this is a lifetime business of helping people. And when you have that kind of mindset, you're asking yourself, okay, there's 1.4 billion people. A lot of people are going to say no. And a lot of people are going to come in and they're going to be excited and they're going to leave. But who are we looking for? We're looking for people like us. We're looking for people who says, hey, I want my life changed. I want to have a better life. I want to have a truly great income in this business, right? So if you have that kind of attitude and that mindset, you will approach this market with success, right? This is like, and of course, just opening your mouth, talking to people, right? I'm excited because Indians, they're smart people. And I'm just excited because there's 1.4 billion. You'll never run out of people, right? And if people say no, you wouldn't even care because there's another 1.3 billion people, right? So this is something that you must be a part of, okay? I believe you have to be a part of it. It's gonna go down 5 years from now that there are, truly a lot of millionaires created in this market, right? India will be no exception. And I believe India will truly be one of the biggest market for new skin. And what they have positioned, I love it. Whether it's the COE line of product, if you've been, around talking to Andrew, you'll hear that we're launching COE. We're there, for the first time in my entire life, new skin has well positioned for India. This is a market that we're not capturing just the rich or the poor. We are capturing everyone. Okay. And that's how we're going to become a 500 and 800, $1 billion business in India. And you've got to be a part of that. You must be a part of it. Okay. And so my best advice is not just be excited, but the question is master the inviting. Open your mouth and talk to everyone. Whether they are, if you're in the U.S., there are millions of Indians living in U.S. or Canada or Europe or anywhere in the world. Just talk to them, get them to either be involved or get them to, refer people, right? Because you never know. I've been in the business a long time. Sometimes the best people are not the people you talk to. Sometimes the best people are not the people you invited. Sometimes the best people are not the people that you sponsored. Sometimes the best people, they come later on in the business. Sometimes the best people, they come in your second level, your third level, your fourth level, your fifth level. Okay, and I've seen that in my 29 years experience in this business. So this is exciting, and it's for the first time that I don't have to live in India. I'm able to, just like you, zoom in and talk to anyone, everyone in India. So I hope you stay excited. I hope you stay hungry. I hope you want to make yourself a part of this history. Not just the opening, but a part of seeing New Skin India grow. And as New Skin India grow, your business will grow with it. Imagine if you've been around, we pay up to no more than 40%. Imagine when New Skin does $500 million. Imagine when New Skin does $1 billion. They're going to pay out almost $400 million in commissions. And I hope that comes to your pocket and that goes to your team and that goes to, enhancing your team and your business. So with that said, Andrew, I am all in. I'm going to do India. And I want to, I had a chance to meet Andrew back when we were in Greece. And I want to say, first thing, thank you, New Skin, for having the right person running India. It is so important, for us to grow, to have the person that's going to be running India, having the right mindset, the right attitude, the right vision, and the right energy. And, Andrew, he's been with New Skin 13 years. He is the right person to head up India, and I look forward to working with him and maybe seeing all of you there somewhere in India. So with that said, thank you so much for this opportunity for me to share. And I hope you guys master the inviting. And let me welcome the man who's going to be running India. Let's welcome Andrew. Morning, Andrew.
Hey, John, thank you so much for that awesome intro. I've been working with John quite closely over the last couple of months. As he mentioned, we met on the Team Elite cruise. We started talking about India. John caught the vision immediately, and he's been such an amazing partner as we've been evolving our plans as we go into India. 81 days, I believe, to November 1st. So it's coming up. And I hope, like John mentioned, all of you master the invite, because taking action is step one to delivering and building India. Looking forward to being there with all of you in India. Looking forward to, the next few months are going to be exciting. The next couple of years are going to be exciting. I was on another one of John's call earlier this week, and he mentioned he kind of had this slide up there that shows how New Skin has paid, I believe, about $20 billion in commissions since it started. And that's the beauty of this business, right? Is every time there is a sale happening, someone is getting paid. And why shouldn't that someone be you? So I'm looking forward to India. I'm sure all of you are. Today's session is going to be a little different than our previous sessions, where it was more about me sharing slides. Today is going to be more about Q&A, seeing all of you answering your questions. Obviously, since we discussed or started talking about India, we've had a lot of questions that we're answering. I'm sure you're getting a lot of the same questions. Jack mentioned, he asked me to kind of give you my top 5 questions that I've been hearing quite a bit. So I'll answer those. But in the meantime, feel free to just type in the chat and the Q&A all the questions that you have. Based on how much time we have today, we'll try and get through as many as we can. So with that, let me start with kind of the top 3 questions that I get. The number one question is around how we enter India, right? Because we talk about the 2-phased approach to enter India, where between November and the middle of next year, we will have a qualified entry period, and the middle of next year will be the official full market launch. Now, when we say qualified entry, full market launch, there's some similarities and there's some differences. So when we talk about operations will be fully available as of November already. So operationally, there isn't going to be much of a difference. Really, the main difference between that qualified entry period and the full launch boils down to 2 things. One is, if you're an international person wanting to participate in India and you are India eligible, you need to be a brand rep in your international account to take part in that qualified entry period. If you're not a brand rep and you stay a brand affiliate the whole time with your international account, you will only be able to take part in India, create your India account once we have the official launch. That's the first main point. The second main point, and this is really cool, is the founders promotion that a lot of you have heard about is only valid for that qualified entry period. So between November and the middle of next year, that's the only time we will have double global growth pool, or if you're an international person, or double lead if you're an India eligible or an India account. So that's the main difference between those two phases, is who can participate and what bonuses get paid. So that's the main difference between the two. So that's question number one. Question number two is, I get asked this quite a bit as well, which is who can build? And this almost comes in couched as people probably not understanding the difference between the phases, the qualified entry phase and the full launch. Irrespective of the qualified entry phase or the full launch, only Indians and India eligible people will be allowed to build in India. What does that mean is, if you are an international brand affiliate today, but you're not India eligible, meaning you don't have an OCI or you don't have an NRI or some sort of Indian ID, you will not be able to go and create your account in India even after the full launch. And I say that with an asterisk because you could still go and create an entity and go through a whole bunch of other stuff there. That's a little more time consuming. That's a little more cumbersome. To John's point that he just shared with us, where he said, master the art of invite, it's a lot easier to bring in someone that you know who's India eligible and build India through them without you yourself even having to go and spend time in India. So that's number two question, is who can build. The India opportunity is limited directly to Indian origin and Indian nationals. That being said, we know that we have never successfully opened any markets without the help of our international leaders. So we do have programs that will compensate our international leaders for going out and finding India eligible people, which brings me to actually our third most frequently asked question. And this is, I guess, more a combination of questions around global growth pool, founders promotion, all of those. And for those of you who have followed along on our previous calls, you've probably seen me go through those slides of how do you qualify for the global growth pool, how do you qualify for founders promotion. The slides that I have are fairly simple, and they're kind of meant to be a high level explanation of how global growth pool works. What I want to do today is get a little bit more in the weeds, if you guys are up for it, because I think it'll help everyone understand the global growth pool in a little more detail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to show you this little diagram that I mocked up. It's a lot to take in at first, but don't worry, we will break this down bit by bit and go through it. So for those of you who remember what global growth pool is, it breaks down into three things, right? Step one is you need to find an India eligible person in an existing open market. So in this example, we have a US team elite. I saw Ben and Terry on the chat. So let's say this is Ben and Terry, right? And they have gone and found someone in the US.
Third month of having this call.
Right. Step one is you need to find an India eligible, all of those. And for those of you who have followed along on our previous calls, you've probably seen me go through those slides of how do you qualify for the global growth pool, how do you qualify for founders promotion. The slides that I have are fairly simple, and they're kind of meant to be a high level explanation of how global growth pool works. What I want to do today is get a little bit more in the weeds, if you guys are up for it, because I think it'll help everyone understand the global growth pool in a little more detail. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to show you this little diagram that I mocked up. It's a lot to take in at first, but don't worry, we will break this down bit by bit and go through it. So for those of you who remember what global growth pool is, it breaks down into three things, right? Step one is you need to find an India eligible person in an existing open market. So in this example, we have a US team elite. I saw Ben and Terry on the chat. So let's say this is Ben and Terry, right? And they have gone and found someone in the US who is India eligible, someone who is of Indian origin but currently living in India. They have gone and personally sponsored this person. And before November, this person in their US account now becomes a brand rep. That's step one, right? So that's step two, sorry. So step one is finding that India eligible person in an open market. Step two is that person becoming a brand rep by November. Step three is when the market opens, this India eligible person needs to go and build a significant team in India. So I want to talk about this line right here. This is kind of it's almost a line of demarcation in terms of volume flow, what happens on one side or the other. Anything to the left of this line, that is Global Seamless Comp Plan. That is our SPP. That is what you are all most familiar with. Anything to the right of this line is India, which means based on the direct India, the line of sponsorship needs to start and end in India. So that's why you have this line over here that's basically saying, this is your global team, and on the right, you've got your India team. So over here, we've got this person from step two, right? They're now a US BR and they're India eligible. Now, in November, they will be able to go and create their India account in India. That's why I'm connecting this through dotted lines, because these two accounts belong to the same person, but they operate under two separate plans. This account follows the Global Seamless Comp Plan.
Hey, Andrew, there's some people in the comments that cannot see your diagram. Would you mind zooming in a little bit, or?
Yes. How about now? Is that better? Maybe a little bit more?
People are saying no still. Cannot see in the Zoom, no, too small.
Maybe there's a way, I don't know how it's showing up on Zoom. If my face is still on the left-hand side, we could take my face out and just share my screen. I don't know if that's possible.
I think Alicia, if you can work on that, let me see.
Or we could just go, I mean, I can try and go as zoomed in as I can. This is probably the most zoomed in I could go. I don't know if that helps, if you're able to see that on your side.
Okay, we're logged in somewhere else and we can see the diagram. So if everyone can try to switch to the screen that Andrew is sharing.
Okay. Can I get some thumbs ups or some notes that people are able to see? Let me look at the chat. Yep. All right.
All right. We got Mo's in, so I think we're good.
We are good. Perfect. Thank you for calling that out, Jack. All right. So just as a quick kind of update or revision of what I shared, I want to revisit step one, right? Step one is over here. Well, making sure that I can see it on my side. Oh, looks like it's kind of still zoomed in over here. Okay. Let's see. Is there a, okay, you guys are able to see it now. Perfect. Okay. So step one is this US person finding the D1, right? Step two is that India eligible person now becoming a brand rep. Now we go over to step three, which is everything that's happening on the India side. And I'm just looking at it from my reference to make sure you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. I'm kind of seeing both screens to make sure you can see it. So what happens on this India side is that US India eligible person, as they go and create their India account, they go and start building their team in India, right? So as this person becomes a brand rep or brand rep and above, so IN1 is the same person as the India eligible person from the US. they go and start creating their team. They've got a circle group, they're selling to customers, they've got a breakaway, they've got another BR below them, IN2. That BR is building a team below them. As long as all of the sales from that IN1 person, that IN1 leadership team, adds up to 500,000 rupees, which is about $6,000, as long as you do that every month, you will qualify for the global growth pool. I'm going to zoom out a bit because hopefully folks are able to see what I mentioned and kind of picture what's happening in here, because that's what we just talked about right now with step 1, 2, and 3, right? So step 1 is finding that India eligible person outside of India. Step 2 is making their non-India account, their international account, a brand rep by November 1st. And then step 3 is them going to India, creating that leadership team that generates 500,000 rupees or around $6,000 every month. Once that happens, our US team lead over here, Ben and Terry over here, they now qualify for Global Growth Pool. What does qualify for Global Growth Pool now mean? Qualify for Global Growth Pool means that they will now get paid approximately the same value of lead from their India team if we were able to move or pay from India. Since there's a line here and we are not able to pay from India, the Global Growth Pool is essentially our way of saying, hey, Ben and Terry, thank you so much for finding this India eligible person outside of India. Because of the support and mentorship that you gave to them, they have now gone and built a successful global business of which India is a part of. And because of that, you are now getting a payment, an incentive, and that is the Global Growth Pool. And that value will be approximately the value of what you might have had from lead if lead existed for international leaders from India. Now, there's two things that I want to talk about specifically, and I'll cover the first one with this, and then the second one with Founders Promotion. The first one is, it's not just what's happening in this side that you get the benefit from, or that Ben and Terry would get the benefit from, right? Because yes, they've personally sponsored this India eligible person, and that person is doing 500,000 in sales. But because Ben and Terry have a big, deep team, they've actually got someone in their third level who is also India eligible, and that person is also going and building in India. They've also got another person over here who is on their fourth level, and they are also building a pretty big leadership team over here, right? So you've got these 3 blocks of India teams, and even though Ben and Terry personally sponsored and just built and helped mentor block 1, their global growth pool payment will still factor in what's happening in block 2, will still factor what's happening in block 3, because they are team elites and their global depth allows them to reach deeper into their organization. I hope that makes sense. I hope that clarifies a lot of the questions or concerns you are having about the global growth pool. It is not limited to just your personally sponsored India person. It's actually whatever depth you are eligible to be paid on. So that's something to be really mindful of, because it's not just about you going and finding that one person. The concept of driving lines is still alive and well, and it's still alive and well in the global growth pool. So that is the third most question that I get asked. And I want to talk about the fourth most question, which is fourth most asked question, which is, how does Founders Promotion work, right? And since you have this detailed kind of diagram on how global growth pool works, I will just replicate that for you with Founders Promotion. Founders Promotion is really simple. Again, let's use Ben and Terry as our example. They're already a team lead, so this would apply to them. But essentially, as long as this account is a Ruby Plus and they're qualifying for Global Growth Pool, they will get double the pay for every month that they qualify Global Growth Pool for. And this will only happen in that qualified entry period, which is that November to middle of next year. Which means that if Ben and Terry were getting, let's say, $10,000 a month in their Global Growth Pool payment, as long as they keep their account at Ruby Plus, now they're going to be getting $20,000 a month. for every month in that qualified entry period, for every month that they qualify for. So that's how international leaders get paid on the founders promotion. It's double global growth pool. Here's another example, because this IN1 person over here is actually an India founder themselves as well, because during the qualification period, they went and they created another brand rep in India. In other words, they're at least a gold. So if you're at least a gold in India as an Indian account, you will get double payment. So essentially, instead of getting 5% on this person, so 5% on their G1 or 5% lead bonus, they will get 10% lead bonus or a 10% founders promotion for that initial qualified entry period. So it's not just Ben and Terry who get that benefit as international leaders. It's also the Indian accounts who can go and build successful teams in India during that qualification period, who also will benefit from this doubling concept. But Indians in India do not get paid global growth pool. They get double lead instead, which, as I mentioned earlier, is approximately the same value. The other thing, and I guess the fifth question that I asked, which is also really important for everyone to understand, is double counting, volume flow. A lot of questions around what happens with this line, right? Because this line over here, this thick line, is there for a reason. There is no volume flow that goes on to the other side that can be used for title determination, for progression, for maintenance, all of those things. The only benefit that you as an international person gets from across the line is the global growth pool and founders promotion and whatever other like initial promotions we might have for India as an international leader. There's also, I think, just a basic principle for everyone to understand, which is we will not double pay on the same volume to the same person. So for example, if this US account over here, there might be a scenario where they get global growth pool and they might get some payment from their India account based on how they built their team. Because let me walk you through the scenario, right? Let's say this person over here is not a BR, they're a team elite, which means they have a deep team over here and they've got like a 5th or 6th level India team that's going and building in India. They will be able to get global growth pool from that 5th or 6th level team as well, in addition to their India account getting paid lead bonus from whatever's happening from their India account's direct activity. Now, this person is getting both payments, but it's not on the same type of volume. So let me be very clear on that, right? Because this person here, everything that's within this red box will not count to the global growth pool payment because they're already getting paid in India on that volume. If this person has a scenario where they've got a deeper team and then they have India volume that's not connected to their India account, but that's connected to their international account based on their global title, they would still be able to benefit off of it, but it's a different set of volume. So that's just the basic principle to understand, is there will not be any double payment on the same volume to the same person. So those are the key questions that I have. I'd say I've spent most of my time answering. So hopefully this was helpful to the group. I am going to stop sharing so that we don't have to keep moving this Excel file around. And hopefully, Jack, there's been some questions coming in between that you will be able to kind of direct.
Let me just get it into you right now. We have lots of good questions. So from Angelina, does the India eligible BR have to maintain both accounts in home market and India market?
Great question. So you've got these two accounts, right? So actually, let me just use the example again because it'd probably be easier to share that file with you. Okay. And we can actually zoom in a little bit more because we're specifically talking about two accounts over here, right? We're talking, Angelina's question is, these two accounts are the same person. Do they have to maintain both accounts? the answer is it depends, right? So let's talk about this scenario over here where you've got this account here, right? Now, in this scenario, this account still needs to be a brand rep to be able to create the India account in the qualified entry period. After that, if they don't want to maintain this account, that's okay. They can not maintain that account. They could have it lapse. They just need to make sure from an upline's perspective that this BR account was not one of the legs that the upline was counting on for their title. So this account lapsing will impact the global plan and will also impact the upline. So that's just a decision or a discussion that you guys would have to have. The flip side to that is on the India side account dropping or lapsing becomes a little more constrictive, I would say, because if this account lapses, right, this India account lapses, now all of a sudden, Ben and Terry do not have a connection to India. Because remember, as I said, the line of sponsorship should start and end in India. What that means is instead of this India team rolling up, and because it cannot go across the line, this will kind of have to do a little roll up structure like this, where it goes to New Skin India. But as long as Ben and Terry find another India eligible person that they personally sponsor, and that person goes and creates an account in India, they will be able to reclaim or at least benefit from what's happening in this India team, even though this account no longer exists. So that answer of it depends kind of boils down to it depends, because it basically boils down to what the rule is for the US account, which is following the global SPP, and what the rule is for the India account, which follows the India plans and the India regulations.
Okay, so just kind of to recap that one, your US India eligible account does not have, after November 1st, does not have to maintain brand rep, but as long as it doesn't lapse or get deleted on that, you're good on there. So they can maintain as a brand affiliate and keep that connection in India on there.
Correct. Now them dropping in title might impact their upline, so that's just something that they might need to be aware of.
Right. Awesome. Another question that I've been seeing a lot, Andrew, and getting is, yet I'm talking to India eligible person. I get them to BR, and they start building a team in India. What is the compensation that they get in India? We know what compensation they get in the US and everything with the global growth. They can get that as well. But how are they paid through the India SPP plan?
Yeah, great question. And it's actually a very timely question, because we have a surprise for you today. By the end of day today, you will all have access to the India compensation plan, the official document, and it will be in the binder link that you all have access to. So at the end of this meeting, Jack is going to share you a QR code that will direct you to where anything official on India will live. That is a living link, so make sure you're constantly checking that, because in addition to the India comp plan details being put into that document, there's going to be a whole bunch of other documents as well, because there will be the terms and conditions on the global growth pool. There will be the terms and conditions on the founders promotion. And we have another surprise for you. We're going to have a Kickstart promotion for the month of November. So we're actually doing another promotion in November, and the terms and conditions for that promotion is also going to be in that link. So keep an eye out for that information. It's all there. It's a lot of information to consume, but you're going to have all your questions answered as you go through those documents.
Awesome. I will also get that link into our Facebook post for this call, so you guys can go in and look at those. Maybe next time, Andrew, as people starting to get to read those, be familiar with those, we can go over some of those documents and some of those promotions on our next call next month. I think that would be amazing on there. So Kind of last question I have for you, Andrew, if you don't mind. You've been going back and forth to India. You've been maybe 3 weeks out of the month every month going to India and spending time opening, rightfully so, right? Can you give us a little bit of update on how the offices are going, how the infrastructure things are going there, and kind of our organization over there? Just a little bit of update. I think people would love to hear about that. And my vision, guys, is later down the line when we're closer to our launch or our qualified launch in November, that Andrew will kind of give us a tour kind of while he's in India on there. So that would be awesome. But would you mind giving us a little bit update on what you've been seeing in India right now?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. So as Jack mentioned, I've probably spent more than half of the last year in India, just spending a lot of time getting things on the ground ready. I think there's a few things that I can address, right? Which is where will our head office be? What does our logistics situation look like? What is our plans for November? So let me kind of walk through those. So the first thing is in terms of head office. Our head office will be in Mumbai. That's kind of in the middle part of the country. Mumbai is a financial capital. It has an extremely infectious energy and hustle and just people that are just opportunity driven. So I feel like it's a really great place for us to have our head office in. That being said, India is vast. So we know we're going to have multiple, almost a hub and spoke approach where we'll have kind of regional sales offices, and those regional sales offices will start to get built out as we start seeing more sales in. So there's obviously the revenue would need to justify the investment, but initially we anticipate a lot of our demand coming from between Mumbai and Delhi. So we anticipate also having a regional sales office in Delhi really soon. We expect a lot of revenue coming from the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Punjab, and Delhi. Those states typically account for a big chunk of direct selling sales in India today. The Northeast is another major area. It's an area that we've got our eye out on. We'll just need to learn our way into it from a logistical footprint approach, which brings me to my second update or second answer on what does our logistics system look like? How have we built that out? Again, same concept. We're starting small in India. Even though it's new skin, it's also almost a startup mentality. So we'll have one warehouse, we'll have one supply chain partner, which means that warehouse, which will also be in Mumbai, will be fairly close in delivering products to those main areas where we're anticipating demand to come from. So the north between Mumbai and Delhi. But it might take a little bit more time if we've got orders like all the way out in the east or all the way out in the south. Now, that being said, as our sales start to grow, as we see demand pop up in those other regions, there will be a justification for us to increase our logistical footprint as well. So we fully expect that we will be expanding over time as we grow into the market. But to start off with, it'll be kind of a small scale down approach. Small scale down approach to the context or to the extent of even saying we actually won't even have experience centers in India. The head office that I mentioned to you is just office space. It's just chairs and seats for employees to sit in. And the reason is experience centers, while great, India is also very tech savvy, very digital savvy. So we want to be digital first with how we have product experiences. And with how cities are and how the infrastructure is in India, you don't really reach a large chunk of the population by having physical stores initially. Just as an example, when Mike Keller and I were on a recent trip to Mumbai, we were stuck for 5.5 hours just to go 15 kilometers, so less than 10 miles, I guess that is. It's a real hassle. Traffic's a real hassle to get around. So we don't see the benefit of having experience centers early on. That being said, as we grow, again, from an investment point of view, there could be a point to be made because from an Indian consumer perspective, there still is a lot of benefit or demand that's driven around touching and feeling and experiencing products. So that's something that could be there down the line. We'll just need to see how we grow, where we grow to kind of address all of these questions.
That is amazing, guys. I just want to thank Andrew. We have such an incredible asset here, and for him helping our market get into India and be in, just planning and helping you guys get into and build your global business, and especially with India on there. So, just to wrap up the call, guys, first of all, thank Andrew and John. There's a few things, action items that I want to be able to want to go through. Number one is on the chat. I saw someone that said they have OCI on there. So that's amazing. What do you do next? Is hopefully you've created an account in US or this is a North America call. So hopefully you have an account in Canada, US, Latin America, or anywhere else. You can upload your OCI information on our Nu Skin website by going into nuskin.com, switching the market over to India, and upload your information there. We will also put that link for easier access into the Facebook post as well on there. Next action item, number one, upload your documents if you have an OCI person that has a registered account, or if you are. And then the second is to build get to a brand rep. Right? So if you are an India eligible person, or you have somebody, get them to brand rep so they can participate in the qualified launch on November 1st on there. So set goals for them to get the global growth pool. And then the third of all, I just kind of want to go back to what John said in the earlier call, is to master the invite, guys. And the only way to master something is to keep on doing it over and over and improving on it, right? So with that being said, guys, I know that it was a lot of stuff. You can go back and watch this video. And here is the access key documents. We'll get this, we'll put another Facebook post with this QR code as well. But I'm gonna leave it on this slide for a little bit while we end, so you guys can access it through your phones. But we will also put the link on a post. But with that being said, I just wanna thank Andrew again, and John on there. And until next time, keep up the good work, guys. And we're excited for our next call here.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.